working on our last lesson today within topic 5, which is going to be modeling with math. And mathematicians use the mathematical practice of modeling with math to represent and solve problems. So that's going to be your focus today, is solving problems and representing your work by using math models. Now, this doesn't always mean a diagram or a picture. It could be an equation. It's showing your mathematical thinking, how you found your answer, and going from there. You'll also notice that we're looking at mathematical practice 1, so understanding and persevering what the problem's asking us. Mathematical practice 5 is using tools, so which tool is going to help me to solve it. Mathematical practice 6, which is precision, how are we doing with the preciseness of our answers, and then looking at the structure of problems and what we already know to help us solve problems. So if we take a look at your solve and share. It says the 6th grade class is planning a skating party. What is the total cost if 20 students go to the party, 60 students, 100 students, and students? Now, the way that this problem is set up, so I'm going to that mathematical practice 7, it's using a structure. So if it's asking 20 students, 60 students, 100 students, and students, the way that it's asking that is looking like it's going to be a input-output table. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to set it up as an input-output table, and then I need to find the rule. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my input-output table. So the input-output table is going to be on this side, I'm going to have students. So I'm going to do students and cost. So I have 20 students go to the party. So I'm going to start with 10, and I'm going to do 20, 60, 100, and then figure out what the cost will be if I have n students go to the party. So if I look down here, I am going to be okay to go ahead and build my equation to where I have C equals, right? That's my cost. And it already told me the variable is n students, and I need to know how much it's going to cost per student. So when I look at the skating party, the skate rental thing right here says $5 per rental or per person. So it's going to be, because it's $5 per person and it's going to be the same, it's going to be multiplication. So it's going to be 5n. And then the overall cost is going to be 50. So to rent the room is going to be 50. So there's my rule. And so what this is going to do is now I know what it's going to cost for n students. So I just found the solution for n, but I need to find out how much it's going to cost for 20 students, how much it's going to cost for 60 students, and how much it's going to cost for 100 students. So if I go ahead and do this, 5 times 10 is going to be 50, plus 50 would be 100. So the cost for 100 students, or for 10 students, would be $100. Okay, for 20 students, it's going to be 5 times 20, which is 100, plus 50, so it's going to be 150 for 10 students. I'm sorry, for 20 students. For 60 students, it's going to be 5 times 60, which is going to be 300, plus 50 is going to be 350. And then the cost for 100 students is going to be 5 times 100, which is 500, plus 50, so it's going to be 550. So n is going to equal 550. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at our look back. It says, how can you use the equations to represent and solve this problem? How are each of the equations similar? How are they different? So we built our equation. This is the equation that we need to do. I don't need to create multiple equations for this. So this equation represents this problem. So C is my total cost. N is going to be the number of students. And so I guess on my input-output table, this really should be N, not S. And then the 50 represents the cost of the party room. And so that's what this equation represents. So this is how I modeled my thinking with math. I represented cost, I represented the students, the cost of the party room, and then this one is going to be my skate rental as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and move into your next page. And so if we take a look at the next page, again, looking to see what they give us. It says, Hal had $45 in savings. He earns $25 per week for mowing his neighbor's lawn. Hal wants to buy a smartphone that costs $320. If he saves all of the money he earns, in how many weeks will Hal have enough money to buy the phone? So, what do we need to know? So, that's the first thing, is the number of weeks it's going to take Hal to buy the phone. So, that's what I'm looking for there, is how many weeks total. Okay. I'm going to do this by looking at how much he earns per week for this. When I look at that, and I go back into my problem, I look at the fact that this is what he starts with. He started with $45 and he earns $25 per week. Okay. So here is a table. It's an input output table where they have started. Here's the week. Here's the total amount of money earned. And we need to figure out the value of what we're going for. So I already know my total. My total is going to be $320. And then he already had $45. So I'm going to take away that $45 because then that will give me the amount that I need to put into savings. And so when I subtract that, I'm going to get $275. So I need to see how many weeks it's going to take me to get to $275. So if you take a look and you'll notice there's a pattern that's happening here. Each week my value is increasing by $25. So I can continue to work on the input output table. So 6 would be 150 and 7 would be 175. Or what I could do is I could create my rule for this table, which is going to be 25W. Now, if I already know my total amount that I'm going to get to, so if I already know that 25W is my rule and I need to get to 275, I can solve for W by dividing both sides by 25. And when I divide both sides by 25, I'm going to get that W equals, so I don't know what 275 is divided. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set it up. So let me clear some of this out and go to where I have some room to work. So I'm going to go ahead and set it up to where I'm going to do 25 divided by 275. So I don't know what this value is. So 25 goes into 27 one time. That's 25. When I subtract, I get 2. I bring down the 5. 25 goes into 25 11 times. 25 goes into 25 one time, so I get a total of W. So W equals 11. So it's going to take 11 weeks to figure this out. And so you'll notice that this is the way that I'm going to do it. I'm going to find that rule. The other way that I could have done it was I could have continued to extend out that table until I got to 11 weeks. But I'm using what I know. I'm using that mathematical practice 7. I know that if I have a rule, and I have my total cost, right? So that's my rule. 25W equals S. So that's my rule here. If I know the value of S, where it equals $275, now I have an equation that I can solve for. I can now solve for W, and I can use what I know about solving one-step equations to help me find my answer. All right, let's go to can you solve the problem another way? Yes, we just explained that. I could solve that problem by extending the table out until I got to $275. All right. Joanne wants to buy a sweater that costs $72. She earns $12 a week and saves half of it. Joanne started the table below, so this is my modeling with math. To record her savings after each week. How many weeks will it be until Joanne has enough money to buy the sweater? What equation can you use to represent Joanne's savings each week? Complete the table for the first 4 weeks. How can you use math you know to solve the problem and explain? So we've got to look and we've got to see what the pattern is going to be. So right here, she earns $12 and saves half of it. That's an important information. So she saves half of the money that she earns. So here, if she earned $24 for every $12 that she saves, she is going to put $6 in. So if she did $24, that means she's going to put $12 total saved. Okay. She earned another $12. This is going to be 36. And again, over here, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put in another $6. So I get 18. And then 4 is going to be 48. And then she's going to get 24. So now looking at this, I can look and see what is my rule for the total amount earned and total amount saved. And so the rule that I have is she takes a half of what she earns and she puts that into savings. So E is going to be what she earned, and S is going to be what she saved. So notice the value that I didn't really worry about was the week. Okay. So when I was looking at the table, the only values I was looking at were the total earned and the total saved. That's my input output. This was just telling me the number of times that passed. I didn't need the week one for my equation because of this information. She earns $12 a week and saves half of it. And then it gave me enough information to say, well, here she earned 24. Half of 24 is 18. She earned her 36. Half of 36 is 18. She earned 48. Half 48 is 24. Okay. So what we could do, the other way that we could do it too, is if she bought a sweater. So we need to solve the problem. So she bought a sweater for $72. Okay. So she wants to do $72 and she's only saving $6 each week. So I could divide 72 by 6 and then that will tell me the number of weeks that it's going to take her to save it. So it's going to take her 12 weeks for her to have enough money to save that sweater. So I took the total amount, I divided it by how much she saved, and then that will tell me the time that it takes to get there. So it'll take Joanne 12 weeks to save that amount for the sweater. So you guys are going to work on your independent practice. So you'll notice that the independent practice is going to be very much the same. What's your equation? Show how you can use numbers, symbols, and words to represent the given information. So showing me your numbers, symbols, and words within here, and then how did you use your math to solve that? And then you're going to do your mathematical practices and problem solving on the backside as well, using the soccer cookie sale. And then you'll use your mathematical practice 1, 7, 4, and 5 within that problem.